This is TWiT.
All right, so Twitter, a lot of stuff. They're the first public tests of communities.
I'm dying to get on this.
Yeah,
Dying.
right now it's dogs.
I like dogs, so they don't attack me.
Yeah.
I tweeted the best dog video today.
See, you should be
I will
invited
say.
into communities.
I should be invited
Yeah.
into dogs community.
Here's the post from a Twitter engineer. We're rolling out our first public testing of communities, which gives people a place to have more focused conversations with people who share the same interests. Kind of sounds like Reddit to me. Communities introduces two very key mechanics that I think are worth touching on.
So click on that thread. Or no, he'll go down further in his thread. He explains.
Okay.
Kayvon explains.
Oops.
You can't use this
How
internet thing very well,
how does
can
this
you?
Twitter thing work? I don't understand.
When's the last time you logged in?
Go back to Kayvon's. Use that back button in life.
Kayvon says, one, tweets you post in communities are narrowcasted to only the people in that community. They're still public, but they aren't amplified to all your followers, and they don't show up in your profile. We think this can lower the pressure of talking on Twitter. I think a lot of people who are on Twitter want it to go to the largest possible number of people, but okay.
Yeah, so you don't put it in communities.
Right.
But in a case where I'm in my book wonks, my book history wonks community.
Yeah.
Right. And right now I'm not really in the community because I've picked all of them from my list, but I'd rather be in a community with them, able to ask my wonky book history Gutenberg questions. To that group specifically. It's
Reddit
more like
does
a
this
Facebook
so well. I wonder, and there's you're kind of sticking this on top of Twitter, which is really of a different beast. I feel like, no, all right. Sounds like Reddit envy to me.
Being this week in Google.
No, Jack's talked about this for a long time about trying to do more communities and lists. Sorry, Ann.
Being this week in Google, Google Plus was attempting to do the exact same thing that's described.
Oh, remember? Yeah, and it failed. Yeah.
But this is the voice of expertise as a social media manager, Mr. Ant Pruitt.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not a social media
the initial
You're
communities.
what are you? You're a community
He's a
manager.
community
You're
manager.
a what?
Community manager.
The initial communities are hashtag Astro Twitter. I guess astronomy, right? That's John would like that. Yeah. Hashtag dog Twitter for you, Jeff. Hashtag skincare Twitter for you, Stacey, and your dot. And hashtag soul food for sneaker lovers. SOLE, soul food. Sneaker lovers. There's nothing for me in here. Once people join a community,
You
they
like
can.
dogs.
I don't have a dog though. I said Reddit. Really, maybe it's more like Facebook groups. You think maybe a little
Yeah,
bit
it kind
more?
of sounds more like that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Communities have moderators. These mods determine the rules and the social norms within that community. Does Facebook groups have mods like that? Yeah, they do, don't they? You have to have
Well,
moderators.
it depends. I can start a group and abuse it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not a.
Yeah.
I'm guessing here, if you screw up the community, you might get booted.
Well, you can do
somehow.
more.
I don't
The
know.
mods can hide tweets and kick people out as well. What
does Twitter do to a bad mod? I wonder.
Kayvon
Effective mod.
continues. We're just getting started here. We'll be scaling up communities as we learn more and improve the product. Lots of new features and improvements on the way. In the future, anybody can start a community. Today, creation is limited to what we're testing, at which Jeff Jarvis begged, please. May I join?
I wonder what their testing strategy is, because what I remember the most about Google Plus and Google Plus communities was the bad actors and how much time I spent.
Oh, there was so much spam.
Just fighting off the spam and the trollers and stuff like that. It was an effort. I wonder what they have in place to try to, keep that stuff at bay, because there are going to be groups that are, pretty exclusive, if you will. It might be, say, a black photographers group or
That'd be cool.
and that group could get trolled by someone that says, hey, this is a racist group, stuff like that.
Well, the mods can kick people out. So, no, that's an inherent problem with communities. It's very hard to do well. So I'll be interested to see how they do it.
Yeah.
They're also,
Good communities don't scale.
Yeah. You as a photographer might like this. They're trying edge to edge pictures and video in the timeline. So instead of that little bitty picture, you goes all the way to the edge.
Yeah, it's still on a 4-inch phone.
Yeah, it's still tiny.
From bezel to bezel.
You know,
From sea to shining bezel. So that's, and all of these are tests that are rolling out slowly. There's another new one.
We're in the middle of the Twitter changelog.
Yeah, it really is. It really is, isn't it? Twitter support says we're making it easier to be the curator of your own followers list. Now you can remove a follower without blocking them, and they won't know you've removed them.
This is so you ghost them. This is really interesting.
Yeah. Wow. So,
I wonder if people are going to have me unfollow them. As a reporter, this is interesting because sometimes you follow people just to keep up on like movement or news or kind of. So I wonder if people, instead of just blocking them, will just start unfollowing reporters.
well, I wonder if they're removed as a follower of yours and not essentially blocked, do they still see your content?
No, they can if they go to your page, they'll see it, I think. But they won't notice that. Gee, I haven't heard from Ant in a while. Boy, he's just not doing much. Meanwhile, Ant is tweeting up a storm, but I don't see Ant because Ant said I'm too wrinkled and he didn't want me to follow.
So I guess this is
Jeff,
live.
it's because you're too pink.
I guess this is live.
And my nose is too big.
No pinkies allowed. I guess this is live now because I can go to my list of followers and I can click the 3 dot and I can actually remove this follower. So it's not like a mute or a block. They silently will stop seeing my tweets.
I learned something new today from Dave Weiner because he begged to be taken out of the CC list on a Twitter conversation that was going on. And I didn't know you could take one person out of it.
Yes, that's a new feature as well.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah. And
Twitter's doing lots of neat stuff.
yeah, I like it. It's funny, they've gone for ages without doing anything, and all of a sudden they're doing all sorts of
The
things.
last few months, they've really done a lot of. Kayvon is a chief product guy there.
Oh, okay.
And he's doing a lot of this.
So this is all part of basically what they're calling new privacy tools. Social privacy, how users manage
Which
their
is an oxymoron, by the way.
social privacy. Yeah. It's how you manage your reputation and identity on the service.
They better be careful with that, actually, because that's where Facebook got in trouble, is confusing public and private. If you're on the internet, you're public. And if you have this presumption that no one's going to see this, then the platform is going to get in trouble for that. So they need to find, I think, a different way to position this.
You will also now be able to hide past tweets. That would save a lot of people a lot of trouble. There are a number of people and their jobs. I mean, it's like endless now. People losing their jobs because of something they tweeted years ago.
Yeah.
I used a third-party tool
Something
to
they
delete as
tweeted
many
years ago and grew from, I should say.
One hopes grew from. Yeah.
Well, some people delete all their tweets every year or so.
Yeah, I did that. I deleted a whole bunch of them. Not because there was anything in there that I was embarrassed.
No, I mean, sometimes like as a reporter, I dump all my notes after every year because you have to have a system.
Among other features being considered is being able to set a time limit on tweets, so they're no longer visible to others after a specific amount of time you designate.
Interesting.
Yeah, like expiring tweets. When social privacy needs are not met, people limit their self-expression. They withdraw from the conversation, says Twitter.
Well, I don't think any one service can be everything to all people. That's true. I feel like all these companies are like, we must embrace as much of the social experience as possible. But for that, you're going to need different products, and some of them aren't going to scale well because there are conversations you will have with 5 people that you will not have with 5,000 people. And if they could just get that through their freaking heads, that would be amazing. That's all.
Oh, so that tool to remove somebody from a conversation, only you could do it, Jeff. But what's coming is the ability for Dave Weiner to do it himself. So that's the new
Dave
feature.
will love that.
Users will be given the option to remove themselves from a public conversation on Twitter.
Oh God, there's times sometimes I just happen to be, early on, and then people get into a huge fight and it goes on for
And your
days.
name is still in there every time they respond. And yeah, I know. I don't.
Well,
that would be a nice feature.
I've been using the mute conversation button.
Will that mute that conversation?
Yeah, because I get hit on those, what do you call, Follow Friday posts fairly often. And, and I go through and read them. But after a while, I'm like, okay, I got other stuff to do. And I'm tired of seeing this notification. I just hit mute conversation, and I don't see that conversation anymore. It doesn't mean I unfollowed them or anything like that. It just means I moved on to something else to talk about this particular day.
So all of these new things is part of an initiative. Chief Executive Officer Jack Dorsey, this is from Bloomberg, said last March that Twitter has moved too slowly in recent years to launch new products. He said that rolling out new tools more quickly was now a company-wide goal, naming it alongside revenue and user growth targets. Specifically, Dorsey said he wanted to double the number of features per employee that directly drive either user growth or revenue. Wow. You're responsible now.
And that's the thing, Miss Stacey. You talked about not all of these platforms are going to be for everybody, but that's not going to stop them from being ambitious and wanting to have more users. That's their end goal. Because I'm sure some investor is telling them, hey, we need more market share. And what are you going to do about
active
it?
user, MOUs. It's a metric. It's a KPI we care about.
KPIs.
What's that stand for?
I spent 10 years trying not to learn that.
What KPI is?
What a KPI was. Yeah, I just said I'm not going to do it.
I only know it so I can make fun of it if it makes you feel better.
KPI, key performance indicator?
Yeah.
Oh, it might be indicator. Yeah.
I've used it with managing job performance. And
yeah.
Doing.
That sounds like the kind of thing some crap jobs would do. Not ours. We don't care how you perform. No, actually.
Hey, Aunt, did the show go out this week? Good, thanks.
Yeah, we're worse. We don't tell you what the performance indicator is. We just watch and look and see.
So Ant's going to start using that on members of the TWiT club. Got your KPIs are not up to snuff yet.
That gives me. It's funny. It gives me anxiety. I hate the idea of now you're responsible for twice as many initiatives that'll double revenue. I hate that. The company that I do the radio show for, Premiere, has something like that for their executives, where they have, no, you're 15% increase in revenue every year. And it gives me just a hole in the pit of my stomach. I can't take it.
Leo, you run your own business. You're responsible for all of these things on your business. I mean, you're responsible for revenue, doubling, growth, whatever. Yeah, I know. I guess it's Lisa, really.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I just sit here. Say, hey, Lisa,
I outsourced that to Lisa.
How's your KPI? All right, keep up the good work. No, Lisa's really good in telling me how things are going. When they're bad, she tells me. When they're good, they're actually going well this quarter, and she tells me. So I'm just talent. I don't ever want to be responsible for anything. I just want to.
That's where I am now.
That's where I am. But
this is a show of people who want to evade responsibility. That's really it.